Today, I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know to get started using Google Classroom today. Let's jump in. So to start with, we're just going to head over to classroom.google.com and it'll take you to your main page of Google Classroom. This is a tool that's already built in with your Google account. If you have any sort of Gmail or Google account, it's already there. You can also access this in your Google Apps tab up here at the top. It may not be in your favorites because it's not one that's used very often, but if you scroll down, you'll probably see it down towards the bottom, or you can go to the Google Workspace Marketplace to find it. But this is an incredibly powerful tool that is totally free, again, with your Google account. So you just need to make sure that you're signed in with your proper Google account to be able to get into there. So once you are on the home page, the first thing that we need to do is create a class. This is going to represent each individual class that you teach during the day. Now, when you land on this main page, if you haven't opened this up before, it'll look just like this, where the first thing it'll give you is this option right here in the middle to create a class. There's also join a class. If you're a student, that's how you'll join the class. But in our case, we're going to click on create class. You'll see a box pop up like this. And the only thing that's required is the class name. You can fill in these other sections here, but you have to have a class name. Now, something that I've found incredibly useful over the years is I also include my name as part of the name. Thinking of it from the perspective of the students, if they have multiple teachers, multiple classes that are all using Google Classroom, it'll make it easier for them to organize and go, okay, yeah, I'm in that teacher's class or this subject, and it just makes it a little bit more organized. On your end, you may have multiple classes that you teach during the day, some of the same subject, some of other subjects. So you'll have a lot of your name and then the subject, but from the student's perspective, it'll help them out. So I would create something like Mr. Canode's history class. And again, you can add the section, the subject, room number as you need to as well. Then we just click create, and then it will take you to your main class page here. Now let's talk a little bit about the navigation of this here. So over on the side, you have your home tab. If you click on that, it'll give you a visual representation of all the classes that you have in there. And then it also has your calendar. This is your Google Calendar that you can go to there. And then it also has a list of all your classes on this side. We'll talk a little bit about the to review section here in just a moment. But you can either click on the class from here on the side or that main button there. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to customize this section to organize it even better. So up here, you'll see the customize button. So we're just going to click on that. And here you have this main header. I like this to be a different color, different look for each of my classes, just so it makes it a little bit easier to just easily associate the class with what I'm looking for, as well as for the students as well. So you can use a photo that you upload. And I've done this where I would upload a photo of my class. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, just because they all kind of start looking the same. So within Google, if you select photo, it gives you some options all within here. I like using these just because they are very bold and visually represent what I want. And they even have it broken up by different subjects. So like I could go to English and history and click on one right here. So let's click on that, like the little quill feather there, nice bold purple color, and select that theme. And then you also have some additional theme colors that you can select to customize it even further, but we're just going to leave it on the default. And then we click save, and now that pops up so I can immediately see I'm in the right classroom. And then if we go back to our home tab here, you can see where that really comes into play. If you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 classes, they could all be different colors. And I just know, oh yeah, I'm in the yellow one, the blue one, purple one, whatever I need. Okay. Again, we click on that, go right in there. Also, I want to mention that we just dropped a free guide on how to use Google Gemini at work. So if you're using Google tools like Google Classroom and you're not using Gemini yet, you're leaving a ton on the table. Now, this guide covers the power of Gemini, everything from faster research to content creation, and you get real prompts, actual workflows, and implementation tips based on real use cases. So you can get it right now. Just click the link in the description. So now that we have the class created, let's talk a little bit about joining the class. There's a couple of different ways to do this. One way is to go to the People tab up here at the top. If you click on that, it'll list the teachers, and you can certainly add, if you have a student teacher, an assistant teacher, you can add them in there. And then you can also add students here. So you can click on the Invite Students, and it'll pop up with a box like this. You enter the student's email and send them an invite. So you could go through, if you have the class roster, you have all their email addresses, and send out the invitation to all of them that way. You can also copy a link here and email that out or post it on a message board or whatever you want that way. So that's one method. The other option that I actually think is typically a little bit easier and kind of a nice way for students to get used to this is if we go back to the stream, your main page here, you'll see you have a class code down here. And if we just click on this bar to expand it, and it'll pop up with this class code. So I usually will start the first day orientation. We'll put this up on a screen and then just have the students punch in this class code. And then they, in essence, are adding themselves to that. I think this is a great little activity to allow the students to do this so that they can kind of get used to the infrastructure of working with Google Classroom if they haven't done this in the past. And it saves yourself a little bit of work of having to punch in everybody's email address manually on your own. Okay. And as you can see, that just lives there in the corner. So anytime you have a new student join or have to switch students out or whatever, that's right there and available to you. Now, while we're here, let's talk a little bit about this streaming tab. So this is the main page. This is where everything goes. Right up here in the corner, there's a link to the Google Meeting, which again, this is the handy thing about the Google Classroom is all of the other apps that are built into Google are part of this. So if you're doing some tutoring or you have parent-teacher conferences or anything like that, you can create a link right through there, built right in. You also have down here any upcoming work that's due. So we'll talk about that here in just a second of how that looks. Right now, we don't have anything assigned. And then here's sort of your main tab. This is where everything is kind of your feed like you would have on Facebook. So if you want to add something to that, you just click on New Announcement. And that brings up a box here. And then you can type in whatever message that you want. Remember, quiz this Friday. So you can either have that go to all students, which I think is typically the default that you would want, or you can select individual students. If maybe somebody is missing an assignment, you could send a message directly to them and just say, hey, keep in mind, you really need to turn that assignment in. And then you have all the controls here to make it bold or underline it, whatever you want. You can also add links. So you could add links to your Google Drive if there's documents or photos or articles that you want to share with them, or add a YouTube video if they need to watch a video of either your lecture or another informational video on there. You can upload any files that you have. You can add additional links to a website, whatever you want in there. And then over here, you can either just post it or you can schedule this out. So you click on Schedule, and you could type in a date and time that you want that to go out. So this is going to be for next week. So I'm going to schedule this for next Tuesday, so it'll go out then. And then you just click OK and then schedule. Okay. And then that will automatically go out next Tuesday. And then if you have a new announcement that you want to post right now, you just click on New Announcement and click Post. That pops up right here. And anytime you add something new, that'll by default go to the top. And then students or yourself can also click on Add Comment and then add comments and respond to that. Yay, I'm so excited. Oh yeah, thanks for a reminder, whatever. Things can be put in there as comments. All right, next we're going to go over to the classwork tab. Now this is where any sort of classwork that you need to assign to students can be housed and will live in here. So right up at the top, you could see Create. You just click on that. And they have a bunch of different options through there. Assignments, sort of the general all-encompassing function, is really the most flexible option. If you just need them to read or review or study or anything that you need to assign to them, homework or whatever. Then you also have the quiz assignment, which creates a blank Google form. And again, that's another part of the Google infrastructure that will create a Google form with the questions for the quiz, and they can take those from there. And then question is kind of a neat option that you can create a question. I like to do this like every week where I'll just go, here's the question of the week, and students can respond to that and give them something to think about. You can also assign material. So this could be articles or study guides or anything that they need to, tangible material that they need to have assigned to them. You can reuse any of these posts. They have a couple options for AI features if you have that as part of it. And then they also have topic, which are basically organization systems. So you can have all your reading assignments in one thing, your homework in one thing, your quizzes in another, and have those all organized that way. So let's say we just want to create an assignment here. So you click on the top and you name the assignment, call this Read Chapter 1. You can add instructions if you need to with any additional information, such as read the chapter and come prepared to discuss in class. Again, you can format that any way you want. And again, you have the options to attach any other files that you need to that. And then over on the side here, you can have a couple of other features. If you have multiple classes, you want to make sure that you're in the right class. It'll default to the one that you were in when you clicked on the assignment. And then you can either assign to all students or individual students. In most cases, I would think you would do all students. And then you can either set a point value or say it's ungraded. So like this is an assignment, just need students to read. It's not really scored, so we'll do ungraded. And then you set your due date here. So I'm gonna have this due for Monday, and then you can add your rubric in there as well. And you can also check for plagiarism if you have that option, okay? And then once you have everything set, you just click on assign, or again, you have the option to schedule. So this is something I do usually at the beginning of the quarter or the month, sometimes the week, where I will sit down and schedule all the assignments out that I know are coming up. You can always add more later, insert them into the schedule, but it's nice to kind of plan ahead and have these all set ahead of time. But we're just going to click on assign, so it assigns it now, and there you have it. So then it'll list all these out below here of all the assignments. Now, one other thing while we're here, I'll show you, is that this is, once again, linked to your Google Calendar. So if I click on the calendar over here, it'll open up my Google Calendar, and you can see down here, it shows up that that assignment is due. And I actually have another class in there that the same assignments due already. So you can see it adds those all on the calendar. So you have a full view of everything that's coming up also in your calendar view. Another nice feature with this being part of the Google infrastructure. And while we're talking about that, I'll show you, you also have a Google Drive that is automatically created on your Drive. So you can see this is the classrooms, and it has this classroom listed. So all the files that you upload, any of the tests, quizzes, the forms, all of that are going to be housed in this Google Drive. So everything's in one spot that way that you can access when you need to. Next, we're just going to move over to the People tab, which again, this is the list of where all your students will live. And when they assign themselves to the class, they'll also show up in here. So you have some options to be able to see who's in your class and how many and all that. And you can also add them additionally in there if you need to. And then we have grades. So this is sort of your online grade book. So you'll have all your students listed, what their grades, what assignments, what they're missing, what they still need to turn in, all of that within this page here. So we're just going to go back to the stream. So now you can see under the assignments tab here, you have an upcoming assignment due Monday, read chapter 1. And your students will be able to see this too, so that they can see, hey, that's coming up. I know that's there. And that also adds that to this feed where I had welcome to the class. Now they can see the assignment there. They click on it. It takes them right into the assignment. Okay. So nice way of having everything in one place. Now we're going to head back over to this side, and you can see now when we go to review, it shows this is the work in progress. So this is due for Monday, and I can see that who it's assigned to, who's turned it in, and who returned it, okay? So right now I haven't assigned it to anybody, but that would be the number of students in the class, and then I can see if that matches with who has turned it in. So that's a little bit of the layout of how everything will work in there. And so next we're just gonna head over to the little gear icon and change a couple of settings here. So again, you can change any of the class detail that you have in there. You also have your invite codes all available to you. But the thing I want to draw your attention to here is where we have stream and classwork. So for the stream, which is that main page that we were on, by default, it has students can post and comment. This is entirely up to you, but I like to turn this on to students can only comment, just so that the feed isn't filled up with a lot of other students posting things. This may be a case-by-case basis depending on your students or how you want to utilize that, but I like to just limit it to, if I post something, then they can comment on that and interact with it that way, but they can't actually make their own post. You can also make it so that only teachers can post and comment, and that's totally up to you. And again, it has some grading options down through there and your Google Meet there as well. So once you have that set, then you just click on Save. And with that, you're up and running with Google Classroom. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.